Much needed. Let's start off with I got a question. It's a joke, but it's a question.
A jokey question.
What's the difference between an enzyme and a hormone?
I've heard that one before.
I didn't ask if you heard it. What's the difference? Porky, do you know?
Well, what's an enzyme?
No, this isn't who's on first and what's on second.
I don't know. Third base.
So the difference between an enzyme and a hormone is you can't hear an enzyme.
Oh. Okay, I get it.
But you can hear a hormone.
But you can hear a hormone.
Yes.
Hey, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome to...
You know what you need when there's something like... You need the laughter.
He has it on there.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
All right, there you go. There. Want to start over again?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't mess with this. I have them on there. I can change them if I wanted to. I could put little movie clips and shit like that. But then we'll end up like Del Loco, and I don't want to. I don't want to go that route. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So how? So here we are, man. 1 week. No, wait.
Yeah.
1 week away from the eclipse. When's the eclipse? On a Monday.
It's on the 8th. Yeah, it's on a Monday.
So it's a Monday.
So a week and a half.
It's fast coming up.
Yeah, so about 10 days now.
So to the conspiracy theorists like Cranky and Louis. Oh, you're not? Just Louis?
What am I conspiracy theorying?
Oh, I don't know. I thought you were. So it's just Louis then?
Wait. Just because I'm sending you videos that I've seen, it doesn't mean that I'm a conspiracy theorist. Now I do.
They're thought provoking.
But I do like to see them and
I know, man. That's
I like to say
because they're long. It's because they're long. So Cranky will tell me, why are you sending me this 5 minute video that I can't get
point.
5 minutes of my life back?
They don't get to the point. What are you trying to say? We're gonna burn? We're gonna starve? What?
Well, I don't know. Okay, well, so I don't know if you want to call it a conspiracy theory, but there's a lot of shit that's coming out, or people, but it's not, to me, it's not even that a big a deal, because they're saying there's going to be a big influx of people to the hill country here in Texas, right? Because of this small city or whatever town it's going to be. They've already considered it a catastrophe. What do they call it?
It's a national catastrophe.
Yeah, like a disaster area, because of all the people that are going to be showing up. Mm-hmm. And y'all know who Alex Jones is, right?
Negative.
He's
about to.
I was going to say something.
South Park was about to come out, man.
Just like that deaf comment I made last week. I was about to unleash on this dude, Alex Jones, but. He's coming out and he's making he's making it seem like, the deep state is planning something during the solar eclipse, and that's why all these millionaires are going to hide in their in their shelters and stuff, because something big is going to happen. But I'm like, who's going to create Satan? Like, is he going to come out? Like, is Saddam Hussein going to come out? Like, well, I don't understand. Like, he's making a big old deal about it.
You've been watching South Park too much, man.
Yeah, that too. But my thing is, like, it's a fucking eclipse, okay? It's a natural thing.
We just had one. What? Not even 6 months ago.
Right.
6 months ago.
Yeah. Well, and we talked about that because the only reason this one's different is because it's a complete, total eclipse. There's totality.
Well, the last time that happened, we got the plant from Little Shop of Horrors.
There's your conspiracy theory.
So what was it? Seymour. No, that was Seymour. Seymour was the.
No, Seymour was the guy.
Yeah, Seymour was the guy.
Feed me Seymour.
Audrey 2.
Audrey
2.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. What have you heard? I know you've heard, or is it just?
So there's a bunch of stuff, right? There's a lot of coincidences that they're saying. The line of path that it's going. There's 8 cities that are all named the same throughout this path, throughout the states.
Are you serious?
the city of Nineveh. Now, a lot of people.
Is that like a
Nineveh?
biblical?
Is
Is that a biblical thing?
So a lot of people are saying, and this is where it comes out. So a lot of people are saying, well, it's a coincidence, or is it a coincidence, right? That it's going over this path, and there's 8 cities named Nineveh, where in the Bible the city of Nineveh it comes out real heavy in the story of Jonah. So the story of Jonah was the one that was eaten by the big fish, right? By the whale. Everybody remembers that story of Jonah in the belly of the whale, and then he survives and he gets spit up. Okay.
I thought that was Pinocchio.
So the story says is that the way the Bible says it is that Jonah was supposed to go send a message to this town, Nineveh. And he didn't want to go. He didn't want to go deliver this message. He didn't want to go do what he was called to do by God, right? Uh-huh. So he ends up trying to escape, gets on a ship. The ship ends up going through a storm. They feel that it's his fault, so they throw him over. And when they throw him over, the storm stops. When they throw him over, he gets swallowed by this big fish. Stays in the belly of this big fish for, I can't remember if it was 3 days or 7 days, whatever it was. He ends up eventually getting spit back out. And just so happens to be at Nineveh, right? And where he now has to deliver this message. And he delivers the message because now he realizes, oh shoot, I was called to do something. Right. I didn't do it. I was almost punished or killed.
Right.
So I got to deliver this message. And so now everybody's like, this is a message that's coming, right? And of course, again, that's if you start hearing all these things. Now it's also really, really close to, a lot of people talk about Easter, right? And everybody knows that that the Christians celebrate what they celebrate on Easter. It's Resurrection Sunday, which is when Christ resurrected from the dead.
3 days,
right? 3 days. Okay, now listening to some of the videos, one of the videos says Easter this year, March 31st, is not the day that he resurrected. Because if you got to go by the calendar and by what the Bible says, and the 14th day of the first month and all this stuff. And literally the first month is in spring, in March, April. Okay. Right? Yeah. And the 14th day happens to fall on the 7th, which is supposed to be the first of fruits. It falls on the 7th of April. Uh-huh. And so it says that, when he comes back, that it's going to be in the clouds, it's going to be, it's going to be a big spectacle. Well, they're saying when the eclipse happens, which is supposed to be the first, right after the first moon or something like that, there's going to be very cloudy that day. And so there's a lot, they're throwing a whole bunch of stuff in here. So of course, it's starting to get people real nervous.
Freaked out. Yeah.
And like Cranky said, they're starting to tell people, hey, panic buy. You're gonna go and
Cranky's favorite word.
Yeah, you're gonna go get 2 weeks of food. Make sure you have 2 weeks of water. Make sure your tank's fueled. Make sure you pulled out money. Like all these things, because of the chaotic craziness that's gonna happen. There could be some stuff with the internet that's gonna mess up. There could be electronic stuff that's not gonna work. Like a whole bunch of. So it's really, they're creating this panic in the communities, especially the communities where this eclipse is literally going to go over. Yeah. Like here, we're going to be able to see it for a little over 4 minutes, right under 5 minutes. Yeah. Right? In some other places, it's going to be like 5 minutes total. But yeah, it's causing a lot of craziness right now.
It not to mention what they're also saying about, and this is what I'm saying. Like, it's not really conspiracy, but you have to figure it's going to happen. When you get an influx of people in one area, the phones are not going to be working right. There's going to be like overloads. Like the circuits are going to be overloaded. Everybody's going to be either on the phone or trying to stream something, or and so they're going to be so being in that area, there's going to be phone issues. But I think people like such as Alex Jones are saying, well, they're doing it on purpose, and that the companies are that they're basically causing it to happen. But it's something natural that's going to happen when you put that many people in one place. It's like even when you go to a sporting event, like
it's hard to get.
It's hard to get service because you got a whole bunch. You got 19,000 people in one fucking spot.
And not only that, a lot of those places they give free Wi-Fi now, but everybody jumps on the free Wi-Fi.
Right.
So it's worse.
So I don't know. I think certain people are making it bigger than what it is. They're like, man, I'm looking at it like an educational thing. I feel like a kid. Like I got my glasses. I'm ready to go check it out. I'm gonna go. I don't have to be inside. I'll go walk outside whenever I want and go check it out. So, but we're actually gonna have like a little party. We're gonna have like a little gathering to go outside and we're gonna watch it. So, like, I don't know. I feel like they're just turning it into this thing. Like this extra thing. Like it's educational, man. Like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Have y'all seen that? Leave the World Behind. I think it's called Leave the World Behind with the ship and all that stuff, and but that's completely different. That's like actually being attacked. Was it hacked? That movie? I didn't really get that movie, man.
So
the whole thing, from what I understand, and Louis can correct me if he hasn't seen it. So all the nations that hated us, basically, like China and Russia and all those people got together, and the Middle East. And all these people got together and they said, we're going to go fucking attack America because we hate them. Right?
Yeah.
Am I on the right track?
Yeah.
So that's what they did. Cyber attacks. You towards the end of the movie, you see, if you haven't seen the movie, sorry, go look at it. But towards the end of the movie, you see the cityscape, right? The city, what do you call it? The scenic view of the city, and there's buildings just blowing up. So we're being attacked. Like, we're literally being attacked, not only by armies, but cyber attacks. We don't have no internet. There's no communication. People's phones don't work. So it's not the same, But I thought it was a good movie until it fucking ended. And I'm like, Friends? Really? Fucking Louis? Friends? I'm like, do you remember that? I'm like,
that's
fucking
right.
Friends.
Yeah, so why the hell was that dude's teeth falling out? Spoilers.
See that there could be something else there that we don't know about, because maybe he got bit. Remember?
Oh, yes, he was.
Remember when he was in the woods and he had something on his leg?
When they go look for the deer or something like that.
Yeah. And then he pulled it, like he yanked it off, and then after that is when he got sick. But what could it have been? He was throwing up black blood and his teeth were falling out, and I don't know if it had to do with the noises or everything.
I don't know.
So we went from Eclipse to this, but
that's part of the Eclipse.
Yeah,
because that's what's
saying.
Basically your teeth are gonna fall out.
They're already
in the
falling
book,
out.
it says that the loud noise is caused by highly advanced planes flying by that only the government knows are in existence, and the loud noise is the most likely reason why his teeth fall out.
Okay, but what did he throw up? Is that what caused him to throw up too? I guess I don't know.
Maybe because his teeth are falling out.
But you know what? The whole I watched that movie, and because these are the types of movies I like to watch. You've seen 2012. You ever seen? Remember 2012?
Yeah,
John Cusack,
yeah.
when the world falls apart and
everything. I remember. I just never seen it.
But those movies, for whatever reason, I like watching. End of world movies and all that shit.
So he threw up because of a bug bite.
Yeah.
And he had a fever, and that also attributed to his teeth falling out and vomiting blood. So was it the planes or was it the damn bug bite, man?
See, they're contradicting, man. You can't believe everything on the internet, bro. Well, maybe, but the only thing you can believe is porn, and we can't even watch that here in Texas.
They ruined my Friday nights.
We're not Pornhub.
Yeah, well, Pornhub, porn.com. Not that I know, I heard, but because I was like, okay, yeah, I admit it. Every once in a while, I go to Pornhub, right? And of course, that happened, and I was like, oh, what other Let me see, what other? Oh, porn.com. I go to porn.com. Boop, same thing pops up.
What did it tell you?
It's the same, basically the same thing. Like your representatives from Texas,
the Texas that they banned it.
Yeah, all that other shit.
But please direct to OnlyFans and subscribe to. That's all I don't understand.
Your local teachers need money.
Yes.
How many teachers are out there that don't know? You know what I'm saying? like all this stuff that happens in Florida, it's got to happen here in San Antonio too.
Yeah.
There's your local nurse or your local teacher or librarian that's got a OnlyFans and nobody knows about it.
Miss Davis.
Exactly. So another part of the because of the eclipse that's happening, boats are running into bridges. Apparently.
Well, did you see who was it that you sent? I think Cranky, you sent the video, right? The one that the 4 major things that have happened that is kind of trying to. Oh, you said it. Trying to push.
Because that dude was a conspiracy. He even admitted that he was.
I was like, I don't know, but yeah.
So it was the bridge. Kate Middleton saying that she has cancer.
The Nickelodeon
thing, and then there was one more. There was
the Diddy.
The Diddy raid. Getting raped.
Yeah.
What does Louis know about the raid?
Well, so they showed there was a video. I think I sent it to y'all too. There was a video of the last event that he attended before the raid, and where it says that he kind of looks nervous, right? Yeah, he's kind of looking around, and you see people walking in. The only person, basically famous person that was nearby, was T.I. And T.I. is kind of just standing there, and then he kind of walks away a little bit. People are making it seem like T.I. is like an informant for somebody, right? And I've heard this a lot. I've heard that T.I. apparently is a snitch, even though he talks about snitches, that he's a snitch. I've heard that. But you see him around. But you see other people walking in, like Flavor Flav, and other people walking by and not even acknowledging Diddy. And he's literally just kind of sitting there the whole time at this table, and he's never quiet. He's always talking to somebody, laughing, doing something, and he's basically just sitting there. And after a while, you see him, he's kind of looking over his shoulder. Yeah. He's looking around, and they just, basically say that he looks nervous, and maybe he already knew the raid was coming because apparently he flew out of the country. And he flew to a place in the Dominican, which is a non-extradition place where they can't extradite him back to the U.S. So
because he was looking for that extra.
Yeah.
Extradited, but yes, I understand what you're saying.
when they raided his house, man, there's video, right, of they're showing law enforcement going to his house, the one in California, and apparently they raided a couple houses, but that one, and they show a neighbor driving by, and he's screaming out like, "Hey, yeah, man, y'all really you got to check into all these minors that they're bussing in like at 3 a.m. He goes, this happens a lot. Like, I'm glad y'all are getting to the bottom of this. And this is the neighbor. He goes, I'm his neighbor, and every time I'm playing basketball and my ball goes over, I don't even want to go over there and go get it. So I guess because they're rich, they just buy the ball. But Oh
yeah, I guess.
But yeah, so there's a lot of things coming out. I guess. I
don't know. Obviously, we don't know what the truth is or whatever. But like, what do you? How much involvement does he have with Bieber and all that stuff? Like, you think he would say anything if he did anything to him, or had him participate in any like weird shit? I mean, people are saying stuff, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But would he ever come out and like,
who, Bieber?
Yeah,
they'll probably wait till he dies, just like they did with Michael. They'll wait till Michael Jackson died till everybody started coming out.
Yeah.
Probably wait till he dies and then everybody start coming out.
I think Bieber's he's too successful right now, and I don't think he needs to be relevant. And so I wouldn't see why he'd come out if he hadn't already. Why he would come out now? Maybe after everything's kind of going through, maybe something, but I doubt it, man. I think he's part of the group. He's part of the groupies.
Man. So obviously to get rated, he had to have done something. But what? They didn't say what, right? Have they said exactly what or the reason for him getting raided? Did it have to do with money? Did it have to do with pictures? Did it have to do? Well, they didn't say anything.
It's basically because of charges or alleged accusations of human trafficking.
Oh, right.
That's what it was for.
Right. Yeah, well, I guess you can blame that on the boat, right?
And the Eclipse.
And the
Eclipse.
because we're a bunch of conspiracy theorists here now, boy. So, I mean, what do we really think about the boat? I mean, people died, I mean, there's 6 people that I heard that they haven't found. And apparently there were...
I thought they found 2.
Well,
they rescued 2, right?
There was a crew that were working on a pothole, I think.
Oh, yeah, pothole or something like that. So they had work trucks.
So they had people that were accounted for, which it was 2 of them, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then 6 of them weren't.
Hadn't been found. So they were presumed dead.
But I mean, I don't know. What exactly can you say? Because a conspiracy theorist is going to come out and think of some shit.
So
yeah, we've heard them all. Or you haven't heard them with?
No,
so
man.
you saw the one. You saw the one where the guy's saying, they're talking about how they dropped the anchor.
Yes,
and that the anchor.
Never heard. See, I didn't hear about that.
They say that
I heard the Mayday. I heard the Mayday thing.
They're saying that the anchor caused the ship to turn. However, he says the anchor was dropped on the wrong side for it to turn that way. It was basically dropped on the port side, which is the left side. And if it would have been dropped on the right side, that it would have made it take that right turn.
Okay.
He was like, so I can't buy that, right?
Well, how do we know? Who said?
Well, as a guy that apparently he knows boats.
Yes.
Right. So second thing is
he saw it in the dark.
Next thing he says, you would have seen the bow of the boat, which is the front of the boat. You would have seen that. However, when you're looking at the video, you literally see the whole right side of the boat, and then it takes a sharp turn.
Yeah.
And it goes right into the bridge. He also shows the path of the boat where it wasn't supposed to go up and come back and then take that sudden turn. It was supposed to just come out and come straight and go right through the bridge. Right? Mm-hmm. And so he's like, there's a lot of things here that there's a lot of questions. He goes, and the other thing is when you see the video, you see the boat hit the pillar, you see it hit the bridge,
right?
And then you see flashes of light in 3 spots of the bridge, and he's like, it seemed like it was a planned like detonation, basically,
kind of like the 9/11 stuff.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying the bridges are built to withstand something, right? And the way it hit, like that thing literally just collapsed completely.
Yeah, it did fall. It did fall fairly easy is the way it looked.
Yeah.
But I didn't see that, but I saw towards the end when the last part of the bridge fell in, there were some sparks that were coming out on part of the bridge that was still up. So when I saw that, my only thing was like, that was probably just the electric, the thing on the bridge that light up the lights and all that. I mean, that to me, that's probably all it was. I mean, you don't think it could have been that too?
It could have been. It could have been something like that. The boat was how many tons? I forgot. And then how fast was it going to hit that?
Well, I don't remember.
Well, it was a big cargo boat. It was a big cargo ship.
I think it was like 216, something like that I read. I don't know.
That's a lot.
But then how fast was it going? Because if you're going fast and you weigh so much, I mean, you're gonna cause damage.
Yeah,
especially to a bridge that's
depending on how much it weighs, and if all that weight behind it, it's gonna keep going. I would imagine.
So the ship's comparative size, 980 feet long, and 213 million pounds.
So not much is gonna. Well, I guess the question is, was it done on purpose?
And which is what people were saying, that it seems like it was, just because of how it turned. Because the initial thing is they blocked off the highways because it started to say that it had lost power.
Yeah, they made.
And people are like, but it lost power. But it looks like it goes full speed ahead when it turns into the bridge, right? Not only that, then you see the black smoke that comes out, right? Mm-hmm. They're saying that's because he tried to stop it and put it in reverse, and that means that it had power. And when you see the lights turn on and turn off, and they're like, it had power, but they're saying that they had lost power, and that's the reason that the boat was going in the direction it was going. And the initial reports too said oh, there was a bunch of cars. All these cars fell in, and it was really a couple of work trucks and the people that were working on the thing. But they made it seem like there was a lot of people that had fallen in, a lot of cars.
So if they called the Mayday to block people from going onto the bridge because they knew something was wrong, whatever. Why were those two dudes still working on the bridge?
There was 8 guys.
Well, why were they still working on the bridge? Exactly. Why didn't they call them?
Why didn't they call them and tell them to get off, right?
Right. They could, well, yeah. The only thing they could do was stop the traffic. They couldn't, unless they didn't know that there were people working on it.
Yeah. You had to know, don't you?
Well, there was enough time for them to get the Mayday, block people from going onto the bridge, but was there enough time to go and alert them? Because how do you get in touch with them?
Well, they should have radios if they're working.
Well, I mean, shit, it could have been worse.
I don't know, man. When I was watching Equalizer 2, they didn't let nobody go across the bridge. And they were radioing back and forth. So I don't know, man. I don't know. These people don't know how to watch movies and don't know how to take stuff from movies. But,
exactly. Yeah.
Because every show I watch, this is what I don't get. We were talking about a case here in San Antonio where a young man was killed, right, in an apartment complex, and they have his phone. In the shows, the police get the phone, put it in, and within 24 hours, they have all the information.
It's all there.
What's taking them 3 months?
Wow.
Like, I don't know.
If it was Horatio from... was it CSI Miami? We'd have that shit figured out in 5 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
With some obscure line too, like, well, it looks like his internet is out.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I don't know. That the whole ship thing looks real questionable, but
I mean,
they came out and said that it's right now hasn't been confirmed, and they don't think that it was an act of terror. So,
I mean, I would have to say I would have to be on the side of it being an accident, man. I mean, I can't
unless they prove otherwise.
Well, and who sent that TikTok? Was it me, or was it somebody that was talking about how this was going to affect?
Oh, I sent that. How it was going to affect
how it was going to affect the crops,
the economy,
and it was going to.
Well, because they're talking about that bridge, it does have a lot of.
The traffic.
Not only traffic, but
coming from the port.
So like diesel fuel can't go through a tunnel, so they basically transport it over that bridge.
Hazardous
and
materials,
now they're saying with the cost of diesel the way it is, it's just going to go higher now because they don't have that access.
They have to.
It's going to take longer to get over there.
Right.
So I mean, they're talking about how it's going to affect the economy in a major way.
Well, the question I had about that, and that's why I brought it up. The question I had about that was. The guy kept saying, it's going to affect this, it's going to affect that. But the word that I kept seeing was regional.
So in that area.
So like it's only going to affect maybe people that are in that area.
Baltimore,
obviously.
Washington, D.C.
And it's going to affect the city because the workers, how the workers going to get to work, how are people going to get to work.
So Maryland.
So in that general region.
People don't hear region. People just hear it's going to affect the economy.
Right. Let me go buy 70,000...
toilet paper.
Yes. I'm gonna go buy all the eggs. I'm gonna go buy all the toilet paper.
Well, how are we gonna get our eggs now?
Maybe they're buying them to make cascarones.
Well,
I don't know. They're panic buying so they can make cascarones because cascarones are fucking expensive now. If you haven't noticed.
Oh yeah.
I had to go buy a box earlier today. It was $36
for dozen.
15 dozen.
You're finding the wrong spot, brother.
Hey man, you see shit online, you gotta say, it's cheaper. So that's what I went to go do during my lunch. But I don't know. I mean, anything you see nowadays, people are gonna question it. People are gonna say that, well, there's a reason why it happened. Like Alex Jones fucking saying, Satan's gonna come from the eclipse, and that's why these billionaires have all these, what do they call them? Hiding rooms or whatever. Because they're gonna go hide once the eclipse. It doesn't matter what comes out. Like Keith Middleton got cancer. Oh shit, England's gonna burn. I don't. It's everything that comes out. People are gonna say something about it. They're gonna say something about this episode. They're gonna be like, "Oh, that's the greatest podcast I've ever heard in my life." Anyway, what are we at, man? Who's got a quick shot? Who's got something?
Well, you said you had one. I want to hear yours.
I'm gonna go because I'm really pissed off about this one, man. Let me tell you. So backstory, and it's not necessarily a quick shot. Roger, I'm gonna make it a long shot, just because you get. Oh, well, your quick shots aren't really that quick. God damn it. So anyway, where was I at?
Quick shot.
It was a quick shot, and I was in Ross, right? So we're looking for stuff. You know, we're trying to make the boys their Easter baskets, and just little things, extra stuff that we're trying to put in there. So I was like, I'm gonna go look over there in the corner, at the art stuff. Maybe we get something for Boston, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay. So I go over there and I'm looking around, right? And and I see a basket coming around the corner, and I was like, oh, okay. So I try and move a little bit, right? So it's coming around the corner, and I see, something. It looked like a baby, right? They had it like snuggled up and shit. And I'm like, oh, it's a baby, and I looked like that. And I did a double take. It wasn't a fucking baby, right? It was a fucking dog. Okay. Now, people, if there's one thing that you need to know about me is I hate fucking dogs inside of a store, let alone inside a restaurant, because I've seen that one time. Like, people took their fucking dog. Okay, let's put it this way. First question everybody's going to ask.
Is it a service dog?
Was it a service dog? No, it wasn't.
Is it a support animal?
No. And it doesn't fucking matter, and I'll tell you why. But it didn't have anything, and it didn't have a vest on. It was fucking snuggled up in a fucking blanket, dude. With his fucking eye, like, I don't know, his eye was falling out. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with this dog, but it was gonna die, it looked like. But I'm like, these fucking people, dude. And I got more mad at the store themselves, because the store should not be letting these people in with these fucking dogs. I can understand if it's not a support. What is it's a support animal. It's a support animal, right? Because the guy's blind.
No. Okay. So the service dogs are the dogs that are there for people that either are blind, or even they're service dogs for people that have PTSD. Those are service dogs, right? Or somebody who's deaf. Anything that they have, basically physically or mentally wrong, right?
Okay.
Now they've started to bring in support animals for people that have high anxiety. I guess people with PTSD as well can be in that conversation, but they're called support animals because they're not service animals. They're not service dogs to where they're providing a need. They're there just for comfort for somebody who's might be have an anxious moment, and that's what they're there for, to kind of comfort them. The difference is service dogs are trained, right? And service dogs they usually have a vest that says service dog, and it says do not pet,
and it has to be marked,
right?
And it's usually a red vest, and it says service animal.
If you have a support animal, the support animals aren't trained.
Nope.
They're just, that's their pet, and that's
right
what they use to comfort themselves. Right. No, go ahead, Cranky. I know you gotta say something.
I can't see it.
Well, let me tell you. So look, this is why I was more upset, and I was at the time. Obviously, I didn't. I was just mad at the store. But I went to the website, which is a Texas statute, right? And it says this. It says, if a person's disability is not readily apparent for purposes of admittance to a public facility with a service animal, a staff member or manager of the facility may inquire about whether the service animal is required because the person has a disability, and what type of work or task the service animal is trained to perform. So in other words, if I'm a manager and somebody walks in with their fucking ugly ass dog with their eye popping out, and I have every right to go up to them and ask them, is this a service dog? No. Okay, is this dog helping you perform? Is there? Do you have a disability that this dog is helping you perform? No. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to take the dog out. And that's my thing. That's number one. Okay. That's number one. Let me go to the second one. Hold on. Let me. So you can be fined There are penalties for improper use of an assistance animal. So if somebody says, oh, yes, it is a service animal and they can help me, they can be fined up to $300 for lying about that. Right? And they can get community service. Okay? So here's the last part. Service animal. All right? In this context means a canine that is specially trained or equipped to help a person with a disability. An animal that provides only comfort or emotional support to a person is not a service animal.
Correct.
The task that a service animal may perform in order to help a person with a disability are directly related to the person's disability. Rebuttal.
So you said the word in there. The correct term for the other animal that's not a service animal is an emotional support animal.
Right.
Okay. Now you can go to
say it, Cranky, say it.
You can go to usserviceanimals.org to go and register. Register for a service animal. You can register for an emotional support animal. You can register for the letter from the doctor to be able to house it, because I'm going to tell you right now, in the apartment industry, they had a huge issue with this, because people were, oh, well, this is my emotional support dog, right? Or emotional support animal. Oh, and so they were like, okay, well, you have to have, one, a doctor's letter for it. And so they started to, you can get it online. You don't have to go visit an actual doctor, right? That's one. Two, you can actually get it registered for like $50 online, and it prints you the documents.
And boom, it's a
now,
service
here's the
animal?
thing, though. When you take them somewhere, if they're not, if the person says, hey, they're not allowed here, well, it's my emotional support animal or it's my service animal. Okay, they have to have the documentation with them. If they don't have it with them, they can refuse them to go in. And I've been to one event one time. It was at the Helotes Fairgrounds. Guy brought in his little freaking Shih Tzu or whatever it was, right? And he's running around with it. And they're like, hey, you can't have it in here. What's my emotional support animal? Well, where's your paperwork? Well, I don't have it. Then you got to get out. You don't have to get out. The dog does. But if you don't want to leave him in the car, then y'all got to go. And so they ended up leaving. And so that was a huge thing. I'm telling you, man, the apartment industry had a huge issue with this, because people were now just going online and clicking a few buttons, getting paperwork. And that's what they're presenting to the offices of the apartments when they're applying for either to reside there, or while they're there, they're applying now, so they don't have to pay a pet fee.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That was the other thing.
That's what I was going to say.
Because it's not a pet; it's an emotional support animal, right?
Right.
Well, I think the apartment industry has changed it to where now they still have to pay a pet fee, but they're allowed to have these animals, and then they can't be like dangerous breeds. They can't be, pit bulls and Rottweilers and stuff like that. It's gotten so ridiculous, but so easy to get around.
Okay, I get that. I understand that. I get it, because people will do whatever they want to do or whatever they can do, right? Just so they can take their fucking dog into the store.
Yeah,
I understand that. Oh, do you have paperwork? Oh yeah, I have paperwork here. Boom, here you go. But that's okay. I won't say that's the law, because nobody fucking follows the law. We already talked about turning and shit like that. Like, nobody follows the rules, so it doesn't matter. Like, people are gonna find a way. But my thing is, I guess I'm more angry at the stores
for not saying anything.
For not questioning it. That dog was not a fucking service animal. I know for sure it wasn't a fucking service animal. They were carrying it around like a fucking baby.
Well, I mean, it's gonna take for a dog to bite somebody for them to start saying something,
or worse. Because
worse.
True story. I was in fucking Sam's. I don't know if I told y'all. You might not remember. I was in Sam's, right? I was waiting in line to get my pizza, because the pizza's pretty good from Sam's. But anyway,
that's what I heard.
Yeah, no, try it out, dude. For real, get it. It's good. So we're waiting in line, right? And all of a sudden, a nudge. Roxanne nudges me, right? Because she knows how I am. So she nudges me, right? And I turn around and look, this big old fucking white ass dog with this person like walking it on a leash inside the store. No vest, nothing saying it was a service animal. A leash, right? Just a leash.
Yeah.
Walks in.
Seen it all up.
So they're going to the bathroom, right? Where we were in the store, the bathroom was down that way. The fucking dog, I kid you not, I'm not even lying. The fucking dog pops a squat and takes a shit right in the middle of the fucking store, dude. Just right there. And I'm like, see? Right there. If that was a fucking service animal, they do not shit and pee inside the fucking things. They already know. They're trained not to do that.
Yeah.
And did he clean it up?
Did she clean it up? You think she cleaned it up? No.
She called her mess on aisle 5.
And she just said, oh, excuse me.
We have a cleanup on aisle 5.
Come and clean this up because my dog took a shit.
And they went and cleaned it up.
And they cleaned it up.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? It's like if the store would have told her or questioned her or said, excuse me, ma'am, do you have this, blah, 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 they could have prevented that.
Well, you know, man, I know that we're hitting some touchy ground, right? But I've been so when
but he didn't get to take his dog anywhere.
Well, well, when I flew to Puerto Rico this last trip, there were literally dogs running through the airport, and there were dogs on the plane, you know, and it's like it's just and you can see they didn't have a service jacket or tag. So I'm guessing they were emotional support animals. I don't know, right? We don't know. One dog barked a few times, whatever, no big deal. But I've seen it so many times at the stores too, and I'm seeing like these, like I've seen a guy walking with his dog. Does he have a disability? Maybe. You know,
yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, and again, I know we're hitting touchy subjects, but there's a lot of things now that are considered disabilities. You know,
stupidity?
Well, no, but mental illness, right?
Okay, yeah.
That's a disability. Obesity is considered a disability. Why? I don't know, right? But I'm telling you, I think there's been some, when I'm looking at them, I'm like, well, what are they? They're just, and not only that, they're dragging the dog. The dog not even walking with them. They're literally pulling them by the leash, and then you see them pick them up, and they're walking with them. I'm like, the animal's supposed to be there for you to, not for you to carry it inside the store.
He's pissing them off more.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, this is, I don't know, man. You know what? Forget this as a quick shot. I think this is a freaking segment. But
yeah, right.
No, we can keep going.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
But my thing, but see if it's enough to affect you, like, you know, because you may, I probably just, to everybody out there, I probably just sound like an old fucking cranky old man. You know what I'm saying? Not I'm saying cranky. I'm saying me personally, like a cranky dude, right? But my thing, it's like you have a job to do, man, and like. You don't know there are other people in the store. They could be allergic to dogs. You don't know.
Correct.
Right? If it's a service animal, okay, that's understandable. They can be in there, and I'm sorry for the person that might have an allergy, right? But if it's somebody that's carrying their little fucking chihuahua or their little fucking, you know, and the person, they might be allergic to dander or what. I mean, who knows, you know? But that's my thing. It's like you saw them walk in. Walmart has fucking door greeters. Would they check your fucking receipt after you clocked in and did your groceries and you know, and then go out, and then they check your receipt for having one fucking thing in your hand. But my thing is, like, you saw them walk in. Why don't you say anything? You have the right to question them. It doesn't matter if they get pissed off. Let them end up on fucking TikTok, you know. Let them
go viral.
Yeah, let them go viral. But my thing is, dude, I'll be honest. If I'm at that fucking door and they're not, and there's no, I'm gonna question that fuck. I'm just like,
I've seen people walk in with them in a backpack.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's not, how's that supporting you? You're supporting the animal and you're carrying it around. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
So you say you have to have a doctor's
letter?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like in the case of it being an emotional support.
So how does that doctor's visit go? I mean, do you go to?
I'm pretty sure it's online.
Well, I mean, is it virtual? Is it?
I'm pretty sure, and they're probably just asking you a quick question.
So what does the doctor like virtually say? Turn your head and cough. Congratulations, you have glaucoma. Here's your emotional support pet.
Here's your letter.
You know,
here's your sign. Well, for real though, man. I mean, that if somebody's gonna go to that length just to get a paper that says, well, yeah, my dog, I need my dog, you know, everywhere I go. I mean, that's why I feel that. Again, and the question that I have about entitlement, which we'll talk about in a little bit, that's how I felt. Like, I feel like these people just don't give a fuck about rules. They don't give a fuck about other people,
yeah.
right? concern about
Have you ever
other
heard
people.
the concept of other people?
Other people, man. They don't give a shit about them. They're like,
Some dumb
that's what
dumber.
I'm gonna take my dog in there, and I don't care if the kid, might die because he's allergic to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's going on. That's going way.
All
far.
right, so let me
know
show you
what I'm saying?
Here's qualifications for whatever. It could be emotional support animal, right? The animal is allowed in all housing regardless of pet policy, with any pet deposit or pet rent being waived.
Wait. Where's this from?
This is from usserviceanimals.org.
Okay, you're talking about service animals though, not support dogs.
So service animals, they can be either service dogs or emotional support animals. Okay, now the animal should have good social skills if taken in public places. It's one. Now here are a list of the disabilities covered: anxiety,
Glaucoma.
depression, bipolar moods, disorders, right? Panic attacks, stress, PTSD, personality disorders, fear or phobias, or other emotional psychological conditions.
Man, I got like 7 out of those. What was it, like 10?
Dude, you got more of these than you did of the friend questions.
And my emotionally support pet freaking died on me, man. The person who needs an emotional support pet more than anybody else couldn't even freaking have one for 2 weeks because that dude probably looked at me and said, "Damn, you're better off by yourself, brother. I'm gonna eat this poison here. I'm out of here, dude. Good luck." Good luck, buddy.
He was like, I wonder why he was chewing on that toy so much. He was trying to swallow it.
He was trying to kill himself, man.
See you in the afterlife, bud. Shit.
You can't harm me up here, buddy. Oh, dude. But so are you saying, that there's not a difference now?
Well,
Because according to this,
there is a difference, right, between a service animal, because like you said, what you read, the service animal is there for a specific purpose.
for that person.
Right. But an emotional support animal is there for any kind of disabilities, basically covering
Okay.
emotional support, right? Anxiety and all that.
Emotional damage.
Exactly. So, and this is valid in all 50 states, and it's listed in the National Service Animal Registry database.
So you're saying that a person cannot question.
To me, they still have to have paperwork. And I think that's the hassle that a lot of companies, a lot of stores, a lot of places don't want to have to go to, because now you're basically taking an employee away to go and now investigate this. Do you have paperwork? Get into an argument. Well, I don't have it with me, but I bring them all the time, and you're gonna go through all of that.
They let me in.
They
here
let me in
last week,
before.
and,
Yeah, I was just in here, check the cameras. Like, yeah, you're gonna get all that, and I'm pretty sure they just don't want to mess with it. And that's why.
they obviously have employees to do that because most of us are using the registers ourselves nowadays. So those people that are there,
they should have extra people.
They should have extra people.
Yeah.
Because we're doing their job for them.
Yeah. I get that. Hell yeah. I'm just saying, look, let's flip it around. Like if I decided, or if I was ever diagnosed and they say, hey, you need an emotional support dog, right? Which I don't know if I ever would. But anyway, I would walk in there with paperwork.
At least have it handy.
Readily available in my pocket or somewhere.
In a bag or whatever.
In a bag. And if anybody ever came up to me, I wouldn't say, well, why? Or what? No, I would pull that piece of paper out and say, here you go, sir. Here's my paper.
Or just wear it around your neck, and you could be like Wayne's World when they're going backstage.
Exactly, man. So then that's see, Roger, that's a quick shot because you see what it does to somebody. Like it triggers them. It's like, and that's what it happened to me. Like I've seen it in Walmart. I've seen it in Target. I don't know if I've seen it in H-E-B.
Oh, I've seen it
Probably.
plenty.
I'm
seen
sure.
it plenty of times at H-E-B and in Walmart.
Personally, I haven't seen it in H-E-B. I've seen it in Walmart, Target, probably some other places. But
restaurants.
The one place I saw in a restaurant, and even Roxanne, she looked at me and she's like, the fuck is that dog doing here? It didn't have a vest on. Didn't, anything. It was like...
But he had a napkin on.
There you go. And he was chasing Frisbees. What the fuck they doing Frisbees in the restaurant?
Well, that's like I said, before we started recording, like whatever happened to the signs back in the day that said no dogs,
No pets allowed.
no
pets
dogs allowed, no
allowed.
pets allowed.
What?
Now I think I've seen some that say no, unless it's a service animal.
Service animal.
Unless it's no pets unless it's service. It doesn't say anything about
Emotional support.
emotional support. It's a service dog.
What
That's
I
all it
didn't,
says.
what I didn't do was go to Walmart or Target website and say what's the policy on bringing animals in, right? Do they have to ask? Can they ask? Because a lot of websites will do that now because they have frequently asked questions or whatever. So if somebody was smart like me, I would go there and I was like, can I take my dog to Target? Right? That would be my question. I'll go to Target, type it up, see what it says under service animals or whatever, right? And if it says, with paperwork, or as long as the dog is has a vest on, it's a service animal. Yes, dogs are allowed. Okay, now I know. I can go into the store. I don't have any problems because if they ask me, I have my paperwork. But to just assume that you can walk around with your ugly ass fucking dog with your eye popping out and think it's gonna be cool for people, like, to me, yeah, I sound cranky. I'm sorry, but I mean, fuck, dude. That to me is inconsiderate for other people because you don't know what other people might be allergic to. Can people die from fucking dog dander? I don't know, but still, like, it's a consideration. That's all. That's the only thing. That's what pisses me off more, and the store pisses me off even more because they don't question it.
So, according to blog.tryfi.com, if the dog is not a service animal, it's not allowed in Target stores at all, as all pets are prohibited in the store regardless of their location. When it comes to a service animal, however, these animals are allowed in all parts of the stores as long as they remain under the control of the owner, and this is from last year. But when you go to Reddit says that the policy for Target, technically, since Target sells food, pets are not allowed. However, most employees don't want to bother with the headache of get into the argument with them. So,
man, God damn
I'm telling you, it all boils down to, I don't want a lawsuit. I don't want to have a fight. I don't want to go viral. I don't want to be on TikTok. I don't want to have to deal with this headache. So they're not going to question it. That's just it.
So Walmart wants to deal with the lady that steals a pack of batteries and call the fucking police on her, but they won't ask somebody about their dog?
About their pet, yep. Yeah.
How many videos have you seen on TikTok about with Walmart, those undercover Walmart people snagging people for two things? I'm like, come on, man. There's other shit to worry about.
But yet the guy walking out with the whole cart, they're like, just let him. Just let him. Just let him.
That's California.
And then if you go after him, you're fired.
You're fired.
You fired.
Once they get out the store, you can't touch them. Basically.
That shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Dude. That's some crazy shit.
I remember I used to help with loss prevention back when I used to work at the old Builder Square.
Wow.
And I remember our loss prevention guy was like, once he leaves the store, you can't touch him. However, this dude ran him all the way down to the street and dragged him back. So, I don't know. Laws have changed, man. Laws have changed.
I know. What do you got? Anybody else
Frankie,
have any?
you got a quick shot?
We gotta put it.
I got a quick piss.
Oh, I believe he said he had to go pay.
I believe he said he had to go pay. He had 16 Dr. Peppers.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. That's just how I feel. I don't know how people, because people have dogs. I know everybody has dogs, and it's not the fact that I'm not too keen on dogs nowadays. Like, I mean, do I want a pet dog? No. I mean, but that's not affecting my anger.
Yeah.
My anger, it appears, is more directed. It's directed to the people that have the dog.
Just
but
wait
it's
till you
directed
start
to
seeing
the stores.
Just wait till you start seeing snakes around people's necks walking
It's
around.
probably happened.
It probably
it's
has.
Walmart. Everything's happened. You've seen the people of Walmart.
So I have a. I mean, it's a quick shot, but so
do it.
Did y'all see the whether on the news or on TikTok or whatever, the apparent UFO sighting here?
That was a quick shot. Next question. Next one.
Did y'all see it?
Is that the one that you sent?
Yeah,
though?
the one you just sent.
I didn't send it. She posted it She posted it that her son, because her son took a video of it, and then I saw videos of, and it looked like this one thing just kind of going over the sky, and then it kind of like starts to break up.
I thought you had sent
Yeah,
it.
you sent it.
No. The one I sent was the one. I don't know where it was at, freaking Delaware, or I don't know where it was at, but that one was at night, and that one broke off
it
into
looked like a meter,
15 different things. Okay. No, the one that I'm talking about, it was here in San Antonio. People saw it. So her son took video of it, but there was a video that came out in the news, and everybody was like,
"No way.
What is it?" And it was during the day. It was like right before sundown, right before sunset. So it was still light outside. What they're saying is, it might have been the SpaceX thing that they were launching off, right? That's probably what everybody saw. So they're quick to dismiss this. But the bridge, man, it had to be a terrorist attack.
It was the Russians. I'm telling you.
You know,
it's the Russians.
To me, it's just like, what? Why are certain things so quick to be dismissed because they don't want to have to answer questions?
Preach.
So you're saying that thing in the sky or whatever. When did that happen?
You don't want to say. You don't want to say.
3 days ago.
Here
3
it goes
days
with the
ago.
pew
Okay,
pew.
so
The pew pew.
No,
again.
I didn't know how
it.
to say it.
UFO.
Okay, whatever.
Say it.
Yeah.
Well, UFO, it's an unidentified flying object. It doesn't mean it's an alien. It just it's
But
an
was it
unidentified.
flying? You just said it. It looked like it was broken up. Was it flying? It's not flying. If it's breaking up.
it was flying. It was moving across the sky.
All right. Well, so I always think of it like this. So if something like that happens, 3 days ago, right? And now they want to direct your attention from that. So let's crash this boat over here, man. Come on, we don't want to answer these questions. I mean, look at this hand while this is over here.
The magician. They're playing the magician.
Yes, that's what that is, man. That's what I believe.
You know what?
He believes that, but not in Bigfoot. God damn, they dismissed that Bigfoot story, but let's believe the ship hitting the bridge. So no, I didn't hear. I guess I don't watch the local news as much as I don't watch any news. I'll be honest. The shit I get is unfortunately it's from fucking TikTok, dude.
And that's not even news no more, man.
No, because you can't believe everything.
Everything
because
man.
AI and all that shit that they have now. You can do anything. Like I told you about the Rogan thing, right? How you can AI somebody's voice easy.
Yeah.
Trump,
Yes.
Obama. It doesn't matter. You can AI their voice. And you can make them say whatever you want, and that's what they've been doing to the Joe Rogan videos. They make it look like in the beginning you see Joe Rogan and he's got his hat, like he's doing his podcast, right? But if you pay close attention, the video, the mouthing doesn't sync up, and you can tell that it's not his voice. Just because of the inflection, like the way it kind of like it is his voice, but it's not him saying it.
Yeah.
And they tell these stories about because he tells some weird stories sometimes, but he was telling some story about something in Amazon and I don't know, fucking U-boat or some shit like that, and I was like, dude, that's not him. That's like somebody typed in the thing but used his voice to tell the story, to make it look like he was saying.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot.
So
of those
you can't believe everything that you see on TikTok, of course, right?
But y'all do.
Well, no, because I've sent some too, and right away you've come out and debunked it, and you're like, no, that's wrong. And I'm like, okay, so
the one you sent.
Which one?
The one that not from here. The one.
Yeah, the one.
So it looked like a meteor, right?
Yes.
That was coming in, and all of a sudden it broke apart. That could have been
A meteor. You just said it.
no.
Well, no, because they end up.
No, because it broke apart.
It could have been TI.
It could have been that, or
Like
I'm thinking
CGI,
that
like
even it could
computer
have been
graphics?
drones too.
Or drones.
Because you can get drones to do anything.
But
now
it has
either.
to be Bigfoot though.
Yes,
That can't be seen.
because that motherfucker owes me money, man.
That dude cannot. It has to be big. It
That wasn't an AI. That wasn't CGI. That
I
was.
dismissed that motherfucker right away. No. They're the flying things, whatever the fuck they're called. Pew pews.
The pew pews. Oh, Craig, you have one?
No.
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 No quick shot for Cranky
I got
this
some
week.
just by listening to y'all stories, man. But I can't even, I can't even go there.
I like that. I like Cranky's position because there was a show out that was called Finding Bigfoot, right?
Yeah.
And it had.
I always wanted to see him, and they never showed him.
Yeah, they got close. They got close.
I mean, if they would have saw him,
they were throwing rocks.
They
were throwing rocks and sticks and all that, man. But anyway, so the show was like the guy that his name was Moneymaker, and he had him and two other guys
on this freaking show because everybody watched it.
So it was him, two other guys that were fanatics, right? And then they had this one lady, this one girl, and she was the Cranky.
She would debunk.
She was the one that would be debunking everything. Like, well, if it's this, then how come it didn't do it? And why if it's that? And then so I like Cranky's position right now because that's who he's playing. He's playing the debunker.
The debunker.
He's playing. He's
put him
playing
on
the other side. Okay.
Put him on a shirt. Debunker. Well, I mentioned entitlement.
Yes.
Earlier. So I posed another question. No, it doesn't have to do with dogs. So this was my question, and we'll see what we can get out of this. I know Cranky wants to say, but he's not going to say. Is the word entitlement used for a specific race only? And then the second part of that is, who can feel like they are entitled? Is it kids? Is it grown-ups? Or a race?
Okay.
So that's my question.
So I'll start with the second part. Who can feel entitled? Anybody.
Anybody.
So
I think so too.
I think nowadays the younger generation feels entitled because they've been given everything. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And so you continue to give and they expect.
Yeah.
So they're entitled to, hey, I'm entitled to this. I should have this. I shouldn't be without. My friend, my neighbor, my cousin, they have this. Why don't I have it? Right? They're entitled. Men or women, I think both of them feel entitled to a certain point. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. I'm entitled to this. I'm entitled to have that. I'm entitled to this type of relationship. I'm entitled to this type of money. I believe it too. When it comes to race, yes, I believe there's races that feel entitled. And I think it has to do with a lot of the stuff that has gone on in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
When you've had certain movements, you've had certain things that have happened, people feel entitled. Now, you get the people on both sides, though, from each race, whether it be the white, the black, the Mexican, whatever race it is. You have people on both sides, people from that race talking about how they are entitled to that. They should get this, right?
Yeah.
And then you get people from the same race saying, you're stupid for thinking that you should be entitled to this, right? Now, I think when we talk about the white race, I don't know if it's so much entitled, but I think the word and the word that's been thrown around has been white privilege.
White privilege,
white privilege, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
I
was going to mention that.
Is it entitlement? I don't know, but it's basically like, well, they have this privilege because of their race, right? You're going to have both sides, I think. Honestly, you're going to have people looking at certain races and saying, yeah, they feel entitled and they shouldn't be. Or they shouldn't be entitled to this, right?
Yeah.
But you're also going to have people from the same race on both sides.
Right.
So
the white privilege was part because I posed that question before I came over here, and I said, well, is it white privilege? Okay, so it's white privilege, or is it entitlement?
Yeah.
And I said, well, it could be both, right? Because, but I think there's a separate. I guess there could be a separation because when you think about, like, let's say white privilege, you maybe think about, okay, somebody who's in a hiring position, mm-hmm. and you have two people that come in. One of them is white, one of them is black. Who do you think they're going to go with?
That's what
you would think that most of the time, or let's just say, I mean, I don't know for sure, but that's what I'm saying. There's a type of privilege there,
and I think this is where you can see it in two different ways, because it could be the race, but it can also be the gender, because you get a lot of people saying, well, if you have a man and a woman go in for the same position, which is the one that they're going to choose, right? You would hope and you would think that you would say, well, the one that's most qualified, the one that is going to benefit that company in that position.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that say, well, no, this is why women are fighting for equal rights and till this day, fighting for equal pay till this day, fighting for certain things till this day, because they don't get the same opportunities. Does it happen? I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen. It does. When I was watching Suits, it came out a lot. So, you can't tell me that it's not true. It was on TV. I don't know.
Well, I guess seeing it from the other side of the coin, like being Hispanic, right? And I know, do we have to fight harder than maybe another race, or is it the fact, or is it that they will hire the right person or what they consider the right person for the job? Like, will a Hispanic, would they? I don't know. I gotta wait. Trying to think of a way to put this.
I think you used the word earlier when we were talking about the ship, or I think you did, Cranky, when we were talking about the ship, that they said that it was going to be a regional coverage. Regional, right?
Right.
Honestly, I believe that depending on the region and the area that you live in is where you're going to have certain things come up in this topic. In the northern region of the United States, you're going to have it more than you're going to have it here, or you're going to have it less than you're going to have it here in the southern states, because we're closer to the border. On the West Coast, do you have it more over there? Like I think it just depends on the area that you live in.
Yeah,
it is where you're going to see where this is probably brought up more.
Yeah. Well, that just struck me. And the weird thing and what made me think about it, and of course, like normally weird shit makes me think about stuff. I was watching Judge Judy, and I feel that she's partial to one race than she is to another. She handles one race. She still gets mad, right? She still gets pissy and all that shit. But she handles one race a little better than she does another race, or two races.
Where she loses her.
Right, is where she gets even more pissed off and she gets even more angry with them than she does with this one side, which just happens to be the same color as her. And I can't help but think that every time. And I don't watch Judge Judy because I want to watch Judge Judy. Somebody else is watching Judge Judy. I'm trying to play Heyday. I'm trying to play on my fucking phone. But Judge Judy's on, and I can't help but watch. Gotta watch Wapner. Yeah, it's that time. Well, it's the same thing after I get off of work. I'm like, can we watch something else, please? Like, I don't want to watch Judge Judy every 5 o'clock every damn day. But that's the feeling that I get.
That's how you really feel, Porky. Yeah.
But that's how I look at it, and I guess that's the feeling that I'm getting, and that's what made me think of it. It's like, okay, well, there was a white privilege, like you brought up. Mm-hmm. So is there a white privilege when she sides for a certain race than she does for another race? That's the reason why I brought up that question. That's what made me think about it. And then when it comes to kids, grown-ups, you're right, because anybody can do it. The thing about kids is, like, they feel the entitlement because they're like, well, why do I have to do that? Mm-hmm. Why do I have to go find a job? Mm-hmm. Why can't you just pay for my shit?
Cut the grass? What do you mean?
They're like, fucking take the trash out? Are you fucking kidding? Like, you know who I am? Like, I'm like, oh, that pisses me off more than anything. I don't even like when they joke about it. Because if I tell you, take the trash out, that means take the trash out. That doesn't mean take it out in 5 minutes. It doesn't mean take it out when you're done playing. But there's a small sense of entitlement there that says, well, what do I have to do? I'm not take the trash out. I'm like, yes, you do. Yes, you do. You have to take the trash out because I said so.
I went to go pick up the kids at their after-school thing that they have. And I saw a parent walk up, and the person that's in charge of that after school program, turns around and yells the kid's name, and the kid says, "Hold on." And the teacher basically just sits there, and I'm like, so finally you hear the parent walk to the door and say, "Who are you telling to hold on?" Right? So I'm like, okay, good for that parent. But we talked about administrators and teachers and things, right? Recently, that teacher just sat there, and I was like, "How's that teacher?" I'd have been like, "You know what? I'm gonna close the door. Your parent can wait there. I'm not gonna stand here and wait for you because you want me to hold on." Like,
I already tried. No. I ain't gonna try again.
And that's the entitlement because they let them get away with it.
Yeah.
So the more you let people get away, and it's not only kids, but the more that you let people get away with certain things, that's why they feel that entitlement.
That's why people take fucking dogs into Walmart. Because they have a sense of entitlement that they can just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yep.
What it all ties back in.
What did President Ford say in Air Force One? You give a mouse a cookie, he's gonna want a glass of milk.
There you go. It's a crankyism right there, man. But it's true.
Yep.
I mean, just simple as saying, you give them an inch, they take a mile. Like the same thing. Like you give them that little bit, and then next thing you know, the whole fucking store's full of goddamn dogs, man.
Yep.
My apologies to all the dog lovers out there, and blind people.
I was gonna stay there for a while.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep bringing it up because I thought it was bad, but it was funny.
It was funny.
Oh my god! So I don't know, man.
You gotta finish off with a question.
Oh,
one of your questions. At least one.
Give me a filler. I need about 10 seconds.
A fluffer.
Yeah, exactly.
So we back to the Nickelodeon episode.
There was a lot of fluffing going on back then, unfortunately.
Or Disney. Damn. I know Cranky didn't want to talk about it, man, but you started to see a lot of older stuff come out now with the whole how TikTok likes to put it with the SA, right? The sexual assault stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You saw the guy from
Pew
Charles
Pew.
in Charge that came out.
That's what SA means.
Yeah.
I mean, if they would just say it instead of fucking spelling it out, it wouldn't take me that long.
I was the same way the first couple of times I saw it. Why they put SA? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, they talked about the whole Scott Baio thing, and I don't know, man. I mean, like, it's believable just because I heard that he was sleeping with Joni when on Happy Days and she was underage.
But he wasn't of age either in Happy Days. He was like 17.
Yeah, but she was way younger.
They were both minors.
A lot of stuff's come out, so start rabbit holing it.
Oh, damn it, man. Where's my thing? I lost it.
Oh, Noki, you saved it.
Oh, I did. Hold on. Keep talking.
But what other ones have come out? I think Charles, not only that, the one with Charlie Sheen, that's come out too. Seen a few of his interviews. You're going to start seeing a lot more.
Okay, here we go.
All right, here we go.
All
Question
right, so
time.
We're gonna end with our dark, humorous questions here. Why is it that our children can't read a Bible in school, but they can in prison?
It's basically too late by then. He said, "Why is it that children can read a Bible in school?
Can't read a Bible.
They can't read a Bible in school, but they can in prison."
Because once they get to prison, they
basically
change.
too late.
Remember? They change. They all of a sudden now they're listening to God and
Scott Baio and Joni were the same age.
They were the same age?
Same age.
Huh.
That's why I don't believe TikTok no more.
Oh man.
So wait, I want to ask another one. But so that dude that came out, right? This new one, but it's not new because it came out in 2018. But he was talking about who?
Scott Baio.
Scott Baio?
Yeah.
On what?
Charles in
Charles
Charge.
in Charge.
Was he the young kid?
He was the son. Yeah.
There was two sets of families in Charles in Charge. The first family was, I think, two boys. I think it was just two boys. And then when the next family came in, it was the 2 girls and the boy.
Yeah, it was Nicole Eggert and then the other girl,
the blonde girl,
and then that boy.
And then it was the grandfather and the mom.
And the grandfather and the mom, yes.
And then in the first family was the mother, father. I forgot who.
And they had 2 kids. Yeah,
2 kids.
Mother, father. It was too long. Do you remember that movie he was in when he had that magic? Zapped.
I just saw it the other day, man.
Dude, I want to see all those old. Dude, I can't even find Gun Ho, man. You remember Gun Ho?
Yes, that was a funny one too.
I haven't seen it. I want to go back and see it.
I was telling.
What a Hollywood video.
Yes.
I'm sure somebody has a VHS or a DVD or something.
Beta was zapped. Where he would just he would stare and something would happen. All right, so let me do 2 more here. If a chronic liar tells you he is a chronic liar, do you believe him?
Things that make it go.
Yeah. Well, that's what, man. It could be a humorous question. I don't know. What can I got to end on a good one here. Let me see. Why is the alphabet in that order?
Because the song wouldn't sound good. D-Y-W-E-X. You know?
Because we wouldn't have LMNOP.
There you go. We'd have OMNOQ or something.
Because you wouldn't have crazy names like Absidy.
or NOP.
Or Noel. You know? That's why it's in that order. It was for a reason. On that note.
Oh, man, that's it, man. Put us to sleep.
What if CAT really spelled dog?
Oh, fucking ogre, man. Revenge of the Nerds.
Hablo inglés?
Yeah,
you speak English? That was part 2, right?
That was part two.
What did you tell him? I told him, muerde mi manubrio.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, man. Well, let's call it a day. Okay, if I see one more fucking dog in Walmart, dude, I'm going to lose it. I swear, dude.
Take a picture and post
it.
it.
I am. I'm going to put it on there. I'm like, look, this is the shit. I'm going to put it on TikTok. All right, man. Well, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for listening.
Peace.